Good morning, everybody. It is March the 6th. This morning, we're going to be doing several different kinds of things. And today, you're going to need your chair, a yoga block, wall space, and a light pair of weights. We're going to do quite a few things with those. So have your yoga block and your weights set aside. You want to keep your chair tucked out of the way for the moment. And we're going to have a space to be working out and do some things on the wall. We're going to be doing our wall push-ups today. So, all right, we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to turn on the music and we will be doing our warm up. Make sure you have your water handy and that you're drinking water as you need to. Start with a shoulder roll. We just want to get the shoulders going and then just do a little turn. Now keep your hips steady and just working on turning the rib cage, moving the rib cage back and forth. Here we go, side to side. And let's shrug up and press down. So you want to really shrug, and then you want to work on dropping the shoulders and pressing the arms down. Pull it up, and then push it down. All right, rotate the wrists as you're pulling up and as you're pulling down, and then go the other way as you're pulling up and pulling down. Good morning, Ms. Doreen. Well, good morning, you guys. Hello, Ms. Doreen. All right, we're in our warm-up. And if you'll go ahead and mute your mic. We're going to lift our heels, and I'll tell you what you need in just a moment. So we're lifting the heels. We've already done some shoulders. And let's do a knee lift. Bring it up high in the front. We want to wake up your glutes, your quads, your lower back. Let's add a gentle elbow across. You're not trying to touch. You're just trying to add in that little bit of spinal rotation. And take the arms bigger. Turn them across as you will. Let's bring them a little higher, shoulder level. There you go. Kind of goalpost. Hands at this point. Take it back to a heel lift. Walking your hands back down. All right. Shake it out. We're going to go into curtsy lunge next. Everybody, I want you to pick up your yoga block. Remember, in our curtsy lunge, we want to start light, and you simply just want to pass the block from hand to hand. So we're going to be working on stretching our arms while we gently stretch our hip flexors, and then we're going to add a touch at the bottom. All right, here we go. Music back on. Here we go. Remember, light step to begin with. Here and here. You want to practice. You want to push into your toe and push your heel down, so you're stepping slow. Go ahead and do some wrist rotation. Be all fancy with your block. Now, this song is significantly long, so I don't want you speeding through your curtsy lunges. I want you to use the first 10 or so on each leg to do some good stretching here. And then you can be as extravagant and as intense as you want to be. Continue moving along. I'm going to let Mark in. All right, keep going. Now, once you feel like your hip flexors are relatively stretched out, then you may begin going more into the toe and the knee, right? You want to focus on these joints. You don't want to overwork them, but you want to gently wake them up, stretch them out. You want to open up your chest by taking your arms back. And of course, the block is there to give your hands something to do. It's also a way to visually track. So you can keep your eyes forward and track the block. So see if you can see the block as you take your hands back. As you take your hands up. You're looking forward. Can you track that block? Excellent. Now make sure you're keeping your breathing steady. Again, this becomes cardio very quickly. All right, we're going to make a slight adjustment. So everybody shake your shoulders out. We're going to reach down towards the floor, but I do not want you bending your head down to it. You're going to go into your lunge, and you're going to tap towards the floor. You may not reach the floor, that's fine, but take it down. Hip is out. And take it down. Now notice where your head is. Your head stays up. And you're bending your hip and your knees to go towards your ankle. Little deeper stretch there. Balance. And you notice that your heart rate starts to skyrocket a little bit, so be mindful, make sure you're breathing. Excellent. And if you don't want to go that low, you don't have to go that low. And if you can't go side to side, start stepping behind. Just make it longer behind you. You never have to do exactly what's going on. You can always do as close as you can so that you get the benefit of it. All right. Let's go ahead and put our block away. Shake it out. So we're going to do some fun patterning moves now. A little Charleston. So you're going to take a step forward and a little touch front, step backward, touch back. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you want your arms to swing naturally. Head up, chin up. Now, if you want to add to that, kick and kick. So you then go into 1 foot balance while your arms are moving. Good. Step, kick, step, and back. Step, kick, step, back. Excellent. 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, so shake it out. You're going to step with your right leg this time and kick with your left leg front. Here we go. Right, left, left, right. So do your toe taps first. Nice upper body. Little arms. And if and when you're ready, go to that kick. Make it a nice, big, fluid motion along with your arms. You want to get the blood flowing there. Nice tall body posture. Now, this actually helps a couple of things. Balance, brain, and fitness. You're working some cardio here. And done. All right, shake it out. If you need to, grab a drink. Okay, let's roll into our hip hinges. Now, to remind everybody, when we do our hip hinges, you're going to take your rear end back and tuck your belly button forward towards your hip, towards the top of your thighs. So your chin stays level, hips are going back, belly button's coming here, your feet are braced. Go ahead and get in this position, and we're just going to hold this. Now, we're not down low enough to feel our hamstrings yet. Take a deep breath and let your upper body kind of sink in and push back into those hips to where you can literally feel your hamstrings if you reach around back. Don't look at the floor. If you need to look at the floor, look out at 45 degrees and begin a very gentle pulse. And most of the movement should be originating from your derriere. That's where the hinge is. So we're focusing on just warming up. Good. Now we warmed up those muscles in our warm-up by doing the knee lifts and doing the quads. We'll go into it a little bit more. Focus on belly button being forward, down towards your thighs, and the push coming from the hinge, literally behind you. Let's roll it up and breathe. Let's do a little bit of a hip hula. Make sure you're hitting the 2 side points especially. And then we're going to go reverse it. All right. Roll your hips back, tucking that belly button in. Keep your hands free for me. Now, if you need to brace. And you want to just have your fingertips touch your shoulders. And we're going to do a little bit of a hinge. Now notice, I'm not scooting to the left side. I'm simply turning, staying in the middle. And I'm not going very low. I'm going just enough to do the hinge. Still make sure my back is in good position. And and I'm not turning the center of my body. I'm rotating right here through the center. My hips are square. The weight should be in your heels, balanced to your toes just a little bit. If this bothers you, you can take your hands down and just kind of keep your elbow tucked in. Let's do 2 more. And come up. Our little bit of a hip hula. And then, of course, the other way. You want to be even. Widen your stance for me if you can. Same thing. Fingertips here. Roll those hips back. Tuck that belly button in. And this is where you actually get to turn. And you're going to slowly go to one knee by pushing the hip back. So you don't push. You're pushing to one side and hip back, not forward into your knee. So you're going to get a little inner thigh here. Rotation in the spine. Upper body. Flexibility in the shoulders. Good. And of course, modify out and up if you need to. You can always just tuck your fist towards your shoulder and rotate that way. One more. All right. From this position, toes and heels walk in and shake it out. All right. Get your weights for me. All right. We're going to go into kickback. Kickback is where you're going to roll your shoulders back and relax them. Pull those elbows back here and push. Once your elbows get into place, they don't move. Standing up nice and tall. Your chest is open. What we're going to do, we're going to add a heel raise. So when you bring your arms in, you come up on your toes, and then you press back down on your heels. So if you don't want to raise your heels, keep your feet flat. Otherwise, we're going to go into a little bit of a balance challenge because you've got your arms moving while you're coming up on your toes. Something to think about. In your shoes, spread your toes out. Make your toes make the biggest base in the shoe that you can. And that you're pressing into them and they're gripping towards the ground, even through your shoes. Now, if you want to challenge it up, when you come up, lift one foot up just a tad. Notice this little tiny step. Because I don't really want you swinging your feet. It's almost as if you're going to take a step. If you don't want to do that, keep both feet and do your double heel. Good. So we have challenges and pause. All right. All right, I'm going to pause the music for just a second. I was reading my own instructions and I went, wait, what are we doing? So now we're going to keep with the backward motion, but we're going to add it to a hip hinge. And I do not want you to use your weights on this. So go ahead and put those to the side. Because what you're focusing on is protecting your back and doing that little bit of flexion. So you're going to have your arms nice and long. So go into hip hinge position, however you like your legs. You're going to roll your hips back, tuck your belly button forward, and then make your arms be long right here at hip level. And as we hinge, you're going to do a little push-up with your arms. You're going to lift and down, lift and down. So notice the movement's not big. Your body's actually encouraging the movement because as you drop and you leave your arms there, they're going to come up a little bit, and you're just going to add a little tiny lift to that. So you can see why we're not doing it with weights. If you need to brace on one leg, do 10 on one side and then 10 on the other, or 5 and 5, however you need to alternate that. This is a very short song. I don't choose long songs to do weird things. All right, I'm going to stand at an angle. Hips, belly button, press. So this one you can kind of go at your own speed. As your rear end drops lower, try to raise your arms behind you just a little bit. Chest is super open, so you should be able to breathe, okay? And if you have to look anywhere, look forward and out or forward and down at 45 and not down at 90. Good. Gentle, gentle thing. This is going to work on your flexibility with your arms behind you. you're never going to be doing anything that's going to require you to do this, which is why we don't do this particular exercise. But flexibility-wise, still being able to move your arms behind you is key. And that's why we sort of added it to a hip hinge, just to kind of give it that little extra oomph. Okay? 2 more. 1 and 2. Go ahead and stand up for me. Shake your arms out. Roll your shoulders. Excellent. We're going to roll them forward. You're going to pull the shoulder blades away from your spine. Wiggle your fingers right here. And then open your chest and roll your shoulders back. Curl your fingers here. Take a breath and lift the shoulders up. And then press them down. All right. I'm going to check you here, Mark, because you got something going on. Okay, leave that. I got you. All right. Get your chair out. We're going to do a seated hip hinge, and you're going to use your weights. And I'm going to cue this one a little bit because seated is slightly different than standing. Again, you're going to go ahead and sit down. You have 2 choices. If you've got a back issue, then you bring your feet in. You're going to roll your hips forward. You're essentially going to tuck your belly button onto the top of your thighs, keeping your back in that good position. You're going to keep your arms long, and you will hinge over the top of your legs. You're not going to bow. You're not going to lay yourself down with weights like I just did. All right. I'm actually going to turn myself sideways so you can see what that looks like. If you let your back roll over the top and just kind of go all squishy and not protect your lumbar, which when you got weights, when you try to go up, you're having to overcome. So roll those hips forward, keep your chest open, let your arms roll forward. And this is as far as you go. You're doing that sit and you come all the way back up. So your arms are just kind of rolling in their socket. That's the hip hinge you're doing if you're protecting your back and you really don't want to get into there. You're just going to go into your hamstrings more. If you want to get a little more in depth, then you're going to go wide to your 45 degrees. Let your arms hang, roll those hips forward. So now your belly button is going to go past your thighs and you're going to go here. But again, you're not trying to touch the floor. You're letting your low back tell you how far you can go. And then you roll back up to seated and here. Do not let your back arch this way. Keep it in that banana form. All right, let's do this one. This is also a shorter song. So you choose which position you want to start in, and then you just gently go and come back up because nothing about this is speedy. This is all about listening to your body. What are your hips telling you? What is your back telling you? If you're going wide, what are your inner thighs telling you? If you're going narrow, what are your hamstrings telling you? So listen to it, your body. Again, this one is more for the flexibility than anything else. You might have to pick something up from a seated position and you want to know how you need to tuck your hips in and do a hinge from a seated position and pick something up safely. And unless you've got a meteor coming or a fireball rolling at you, take your time to pick up whatever it is. Be mindful. Good. Now, if you want to add just a small bit of a challenge, I'm going to let my left arm go a little bit longer. So I've got a little bit of rotation there. I'm still tucking my belly button forward. And then I'm just kind of doing that slightly to the side reach. Not trying to reach the floor, just trying to drop my shoulder a little bit lower on one side than the other for just a little bit of variety. Pressing my weight into my heels. Good. Let's do one more, depending on what arm you started on. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Put your weights aside. Get your chair out of the way. We're going to go to a little combo here. I'm just going to push this slightly out of my way because I'm going to need it again. So find your wall space, and you're simply going to do 2 push-ups. and then 2 lunges. Your lunges you can do however you like. We've already kind of warmed our legs up by doing the Charleston. So you and the curtsy lunge, so you can step back. So you're going to do a right lunge and a left lunge, 2 push-ups. On your wall space, get your hands at a level that you like them. Bring your elbows down and in, because we're working on this part and not the shoulders. 2 push-ups, 2 lunges, go. So you'll get your palms where you want. Feet are together or apart, however you want them. Do your 2 push-ups in. And then you will just simply step back and do 2 lunges. Now, if you want to do forward lunges, step back a little further and do 2 forward lunges. If you think you'd rather do 2 curtsy lunges, step back and do 2 curtsy lunges. If you want to hold on to your wall while you're doing the lunges, keep your form up, your body upright, totally okay. 2 push-ins, 2 lunges, 1 on each leg. Excuse me. Good. Now I'm going to check on you guys for a moment. Keep going. Looking good. Looking good. Some good dynamics on you guys. I like the fact that you feel confident enough to do what you need to do. So keep working on that. Change up your push-ups a little bit. Move your feet around. Stand on 1. You're only doing 2, so it gives you time to really give yourself some variation. So you could literally cross 1 leg, do 2 push-ups, step back and do your lunges, and then come back into crossing the other leg and doing your 2 push-ups. And then do your lunges. You can go wide stance and do 2 lunges, keeping those elbows down and in. And then your lunges, your push-ups, and your lunges. All right. Good job, everybody. We're about halfway done with our timing here. Keep going. 2 push-ups, 2 lunges. We're not speeding through this one. Make sure you do a couple that can, kind of push yourself to go lower on your lunges if you can feel that. Good upper body when you do it. The biggest thing about this is you're constantly changing what you're doing. You're doing 2 things up in the upper body, and then 2 things low in the lower body. And you can change how you do those. Nobody's going to be mad. You decide to change it up, do a curtsy lunge, and then go into your push-ups using strong fists, strong wrists, and then doing a deep lunge if you want to. Right, keep going. You got about 10 seconds left. Make them count for yourself. It's you against you. Looking good. And when we're done with this, go ahead and push away from the wall for me. Grab your chair and your yoga block. We're going to sit down and do our abs, and then we're going to stretch. You want your chair in front of you? You want to sit on your chair and have your yoga block. Bring your feet together with your heels underneath your knees. And then you're going to separate your feet. Take your heels out to ab position, which means you can see your toes just beyond your kneecaps. Put your heels on top of the yoga block. Here's where it's going to get a little crazy. You're going to sit up nice and tall. Now you can take your fingertips to your ears, edge of your ears. Do not grab. They're touching. Or you can let them rest right here on your shoulders. And you're going to lift 1 knee at a time. Now, wherever you're doing, relax your shoulders. Your arms are not involved in this at all. Okay. So your toes are up, your feet are elevated, you're lifting, and it's all right here. So make sure your belly button's rolled forward a little bit. If you want to try to sit up a little straighter, that makes your lift on your leg a little harder. You can lean back just a little bit, about 80 degrees. Good. Now, let's go to challenge mode. You're going to try to lift both feet, and it's going to be awkward and small. Think knee lift. So you have to engage your back and pull your knees up. And you can feel how your core is going. Why can't I use my arms to brace? Now, if you feel like you can do this, but you need to take the block out, then slide that block right out of the way and do your knee lifts from the floor. You can modify, or you can go back to your singles. Okay? This is a challenge. We haven't really done this particular thing. Just gently lifting, engaging from the ribs down towards your belly button. And your hands really want to hold on to something. They want to brace. If you really, really need to, you can bring them in like this. If that helps relieve the tension on your shoulders. It also brings your elbows back into your center of gravity. And take those feet down. Now, roll your hips forward. Long arms. We're going to reach down slowly and get that yoga block. Remember that lift we did a while ago? We're going to use that to pick this little guy up. Fingertips. Roll the block up. Right into overhead position. Chin up towards the block. And a nice long line from your belly button to your chin. And bring your chin back to neutral. If you can, fold the block right behind your head. Fingertips. And then open your arms. For 3, 2, 1. We're going to push it back up. And we're going to roll it forward. I want you to arch your back, pulling your shoulder blades away from your spine. Tuck your chin. And hold this position for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe your chin up. All right, keeping your hips square. Rotate those arms. Your arms need to stay long and not bend. Go as far as you can. 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to come back to center. We're going to rock on our sit bones. All right, same thing to the right. Keeping your arms long and your hips square. And hold this position for 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it back to center. Elbows out. Bring the block in towards your chest and squeeze your shoulder blades. Lift your chin up and hold this position for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe your chin back into position. And let your arms go down. Walk your feet and toes in. And then scoot them back a little bit. All right. Block in your left hand. And you kind of want to hold it like this because we're going to take it to the side and try to reach the floor. Brace on it gently and reach this arm up and press it towards the ceiling for 4, 3, 2, 1. Push up. Let's go to the other side and do the same thing. Brace first and then raise for 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Bring this guy and just put him right behind you. Rock on your sits bone for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Breathe your shoulders up to your ears. Turn your palms over. Hold it for 2 and exhale down. All right, you guys, I want to thank you for joining us on the video today, and we'll catch you on the flip side.